Hey everybody, Christian here. Today I have a prophetic word to share with you that I obtained via a prophetic dream the Lord gave me about 4 days ago. This is the dream. I see there is a cardboard packaging box that a Bible came in, laid outside of my apartment complex on the grass, it's green grass, near the corner of my apartment. And I know that this box came from the Bible that I've just obtained, and I am walking down the sidewalk in this apartment complex reading the Word. The next scene in the dream, I've come to the end of my walk and the Bible's gone. I don't know what happened to that Bible. It was there and then it wasn't. And so I decide that I'm going to pray and ask God to give me another Bible. And I'm assuming that, He'll give me one by either someone will have one laying around that they'll give me, or maybe I'll find money that's not earmarked for something else, and then I'll be able to buy another copy, whatever. So I bow my head and I say this prayer, asking God to give me another copy of that Bible because I really miss it. And I look up, and being finished with my prayer, and as I look up, I see falling from heaven, or not falling so much as floating down, a book. And I'm like, is that? And I start moving forward to go back the way I came to get a closer look of, is this the fulfillment of my prayer, the answer to my prayer? And as I get closer, I realize, yeah, that's the Bible that I just asked God for, and it's floating down and lands right beside, by this time I've gotten back up to where it's at. It lands right beside the empty box of the previous Bible that I was just reading. And I can bend down and I pick up this Bible and I'm looking at it, and I know that it's a used Bible. It's not underlined or anything like that in it, but I just know it's used, and it's not in a box, so it doesn't seem brand new to me. And then also there's a bookmark, a blue bookmark in the Bible, and on the bookmark there is something written. I don't turn to the bookmark section of the Bible, and I don't attempt to read whatever's written on the bookmark. It dawns on me that I want my family to see what has just happened. I mean, this just came from heaven. That's wild. And so I put the book back down on the ground where it had originally landed, and I go to my front door, which is maybe 10 paces from where the book was at. And I open the door and I call out to my family to tell them to come look at what has happened. And I hear them bickering and whatnot. And the two people who come to my front door are first my mother-in-law, and the second one is my son. And my son is pulling on my mother-in-law's arm, trying to keep her in the house. But I'm thinking he's being a little bit rough for her. She's kind of old, But anyway, that's the end of the scene. And I then turn to point out to them what I'm talking about. And as I turn and look back, I see that a massive downpour has occurred, or is occurring, and a massive rain is dropping. And so I'm like, oh, I don't want this Bible to get damaged anyway. I'll go get it. And so I go and I grab the Bible, and there's nothing damage done to it. And then I see myself sit outside on what looks like a bench. I don't actually see it, but I'm just seated on, I believe to be a bench. And as I'm seated there, my son starts to talk to me about what Grandma and him had seen as a black widow, and I should be careful. And so I look down and to see if there's any black widow or anything like that around, and I see a beetle about half an inch long, and it's black. And it just happens to be under my foot. And my heel is up, my toes are on the ground, but my heels are up. And so this beetle is right underneath my heel. And so I hit the beetle a couple of times with my foot to see if it's alive. Man, it's lifeless. There's no movement whatsoever. It seems dead, and I could easily crush it and be done with it. But I don't, because it's already dead, and it makes no sense to do anymore to it. So that was the end of the dream. Now, when I had this dream and I woke up, I'm like, wow, that's an awesome dream, but I don't understand it. It's way beyond my level, So I'm asking the Holy Spirit to reveal to me what He will about this dream so that I can understand it and share it with you. The first thing that the Holy Spirit revealed to me about the dream was the fact that when I pray and look up, I see immediate response and I see a miraculous response. And the Holy Spirit revealed to me, he said that you have this because you have grown in favor with God. And you have obtained that growth in favor because you have been walking out your faith. That's why you were walking outside, okay, and studying to show yourself approved. Because you were doing that, you have grown in favor with God. And also, the Holy Spirit showed me that the reason why I see my mother-in-law and my son at the front door is that he's distinguishing a generation. Okay, so there was my son's grandmother, which would be the generation before me, and then my son will be the generation after me. He's showing that this generation, my generation, is favored by God. Now, a caveat here. It's also showed me that it's not about an age, like, I was born on this date and therefore I'm in that generation. No, it's not like that. Even with Caleb and Joshua, you see that they were numbered with the Israelites who went into the promised land, even though they were from a different generation. So God is showing that the generation is defined by those who have separated themselves for a time to walk out their faith, pursuing the Lord, seeking out in His Word, right? So if that's you, this is what God's saying to you, that your faith, you have grown in faith and knowledge and understanding, and as such, your favor has increased, right? You are favored above others with God. And so when you call on Him for something, He will respond at a miraculous level that others have not been able to see, and an immediate level that others haven't been able to see. So that's interesting, very powerful word. There's also an element here where the Lord, Holy Spirit has revealed to me that some principles in it, and it's that you will be seated before the elders at the gate, okay? And you will have your enemy beneath your foot, under your heel, so to speak. Also, this is a really, really powerful part for me, and that is that you will see rain falling, massive amount of rain falling. It wasn't violent kind of a storm or anything like that. It was just a massive deluge of rain. That's an important element. The difference between a false teacher or a false prophet and a real one is the rain. A false prophet is one who has clouds and wind but no rain. It's the same for a false teacher. So this is an important detail. When you see the rain in the dream, God is indicating that you are not false, and it will be evident to everybody because both other generations also see the rain that is falling. So it's a very, very powerful word. It's a prophetic word for your life, that you have grown in favor with God, and so you can ask God for things and receive them that others couldn't. As always, I upload every couple of days. Please be sure to share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless.